Having a phenomenal Monday. We're trying to hit some of the news of the day, some of the stuff that's going on out there, and some stuff took place last week because it's a good thing. And the BS of the day, and I do mean BS of the day when it comes to the World Cup, and we'll get to that in a little bit because I don't know who China is paying for all of this, but I just find this stuff fascinating. But first and foremost, I want to start with this. This is Bono and Rogan. So it's kind of weird to think Bono was on with Rogan, but he's on with Rogan, and they're talking about USAID and Doge. And was it good? Was it bad? Look, here's what I know about Doge. I got what I needed out of it, which is simply this. It exposed a bunch of the bullshit when it came to how much money we spend and some of the, waste, fraud, and abuse. What the hell is that? I couldn't even tell you at this moment in time what waste, fraud, and abuse is. It's all kinds of things to all kinds of people. But they were talking about USAID, and they brought up how many people have died. And it's funny the way that it's been cut up depending on what side of the aisle you're on. You see certain things, right? So if you support the left, Bono's bit is right there. If you support the right, you get Rogan's bit. It's about 2 minutes or so. We're going to play the whole thing through, and let's have some fun with Bono.
It's not proven, but the surveillance enough suggests 300,000 people have already died from just this cut off, this hard cut of USAID. So there's food rotting in boats, in warehouses. There is this will fuck you off. You will not be happy. No American will, but there is, I think it's 50,000 tons of food that are stored in Djibouti, South Africa, Dubai, and wait for it, Houston, Texas. And that is rotting rather than going to Gaza, rather than going to Sudan, because the people who know the codes or for the warehouse are fired. They're gone. And so this, I don't know. What do you think? What is that? That's not America, is it?
Well, they're throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
Right.
Right. This is the problem. The problem is, for sure, there have been a lot of organizations that do tremendous good all throughout the world. Also, for sure, it was a money laundering operation. For sure, there was no oversight. For sure, billions of dollars are missing. In fact, trillions that are unaccounted for, that were sent off into various, they don't even know where because there's no receipts. The way Elon Musk described it, he said if any of this was done by a public company, the company would be delisted and the executives would be in prison. But in the United States, this is standard. When Biden left office, when it was clear that Trump won in the 73 days, they spent $93 billion from the Department of Energy on just radical loans, just throwing money into places.
Right.
And there's no oversight, no receipts. Like the whole thing is, there's a lot of fraud, a lot of money laundering.
Well, there's no doubt there's a lot of money. And is it being laundered? Well, it's legal laundering. It's probably the best way to describe it, which is we made the rules and here are the rules. I can hire my brother-in-law's company to fulfill this stuff. And your brother-in-law company goes out and fulfills it. And there's no doubt the amount of money and stuff that's out there. And I hear, well, 300,000 people, 400,000 people, soft power, it's this, that, and the other. Who we are as this country is we've built ourselves on soft power. Trump is not into the soft power side of things. I think we recognize that. Call it good, bad, or indifferent. We've got a debt problem. And at the same time, when do we decide, hey, we're going to help these people fish for themselves? We're going to give them a roadmap to get themselves out of this stuff so they don't have to come to us every year for $15 billion to help them dig wells. And we don't have to use this to push our soft power. When does that happen? Why is it our responsibility to take care of everybody all the time? And that's a question when the left asks, well, what about this? What about that? Look, I understand. I'm not a heartless son of a bitch. I'm not, but I'm a realist, because while we do a lot of these things, the reality is we also stunt the growth in a lot of these countries. And why aren't we helping to do more to grow and get them sustainable on their own? I think it's a fair question right there, which doesn't get asked much because nobody wants to ask that question. It's all or nothing. We can be a great giver. We can be a country that is strong and has empathy. And we can also be a country, I would like to think, that could be fiscally effing responsible. It shouldn't be that fucking hard. It shouldn't. Yet it seems to be that hard all the time. It's nothing. It's this. It's in the middle is where 90% of humans live. Maybe a little left, maybe a little right. And in many cases, nobody gives a rat's ass. Get it done. There's a new CNN poll out today about the fact that for the first time in a long time, almost 60% of Americans think government's not doing enough, they're wasting everybody's time, and they're just fighting. Surmising. We need to get shit done. It's not hard. And it would be great. You know, Reagan said it way back in the day. It'd be, imagine what we could have done if nobody cared who got the credit. Well, we don't live in that world, especially now with the politics the way it is. All that matters is the credit. That's all that matters, which doesn't do us good as a nation or as people. It just doesn't. It should piss us all off. Meanwhile, we move from there to the flailings of the Democrats, which continue to make me laugh. Here's a perfect example of what isn't fucking hard, guys. Honest to God. What isn't hard? Figuring out how to act like normal, regular people. They spent $20 million last week on trying to figure out, like, how do we talk to guys? Oh, my God. Is it Tim Walz? Is that the guy? This is Congressman Osama Sam Harris talking about where the Democrats have made mistakes, and seems to be one of the most logical points I've heard.
I feel like there is a
Democrat
recognition that we went too far left on immigration. But, you know, I feel there needs to be a fundamental restructuring within the Democratic Party, a return to a rational center. But, you know, I worry that, I mean, Donald Trump is so aggressive that he is provoking a response.
Yeah.
That is, you know, there's a divide between what I would say two teams in the Democratic Party. There's team restraint and team resistance, right? There are those in team resistance who feel like we should react hysterically to everything that Donald Trump says or does. And then there are those who feel like we should pick and choose our battles and be strategic. But I worry that the momentum is on the side of hysterical, hyperbolic resistance, and the enormous expenditure of time and energy and resistance might crowd out the restructuring and moderation that needs to happen within the Democratic Party.
Man, that's true. You know, I would say logical liberals, reasonable Republicans. It's a lady I worked with, she used to call them that. And it's not out there anymore. It isn't. The noise wins the day. The noise, you know how much easier it is? I always tell everybody, you know how easy it would be for me to wake up in the morning and just go on my radio show and just pick the, 3 or 4 crazy sound bites and just run with them all day. This is what it's just, I can't do that because, it's disingenuous. It's not who I am. I mean, it should be who, most people aren't that way. It's all about how can I, show my team in the light I want to show them, and how great can my team be? Oh, I'm going to show them in the light that I want them in, and I'm only going to take this sound bite. It's not who I am. Look, Trump is being aggressive because he didn't have a choice. I mean, you've got midterms coming up a lot faster than you think. We're almost 6 months through his second term, his first year of a second term. And before you know it, it's going to be the end of the year. And, stuff's already starting to heat up. People starting to throw their hat in the ring. You've got to go, okay, if we don't get shit done, I'm not going to have a chance. They're already talking about impeaching my ass. And Congress is useless. Let's be honest. Even anything he does, they're just hoping and praying, oh, please, God, let him do it through executive order. Oh, please, God. That way we don't have to make a decision. Well, anything done by executive order is undone by executive order. We all know that. Yes, you went too far on immigration, and this is the snapback that happens. When you go too far on certain things, what happens? It is going to come back the other way and usually go way further than it should. Common sense is eluding DC. It eludes most places. which is a shame because it's not that hard to figure out how to deal with, I don't know, you spent $20 million trying to figure out how to talk to men. And what did you come up with? Tim Walz? Thinking he can decode men? It's walk up and go, hey, dude, what's going on? Nothing. You guys think I'm the worst. Yeah, you're not the worst. That's a bunch of bullshit. You guys aren't the worst. And you don't have to tell everybody that you're privileged and that everybody else sucks because you were born white and you feel bad about it. No, you just treat them like dudes and don't bullshit them. You know, it's no different than women. Women, you want to know the way to a man's heart? What's the old saying? Keep their stomach full and their balls empty. It's not hard. It isn't, but they make it hard. Common sense eludes everybody. And you spent $20 million trying to figure out how to talk to a man, and what are you going to give us? If you're a Democrat, nothing. If you're a Republican, they're talking to men because you know what they're not doing? They're not shaming them and telling them they got to hit the bricks. They're not telling them that everything in the world is their problem. They're not telling them that, look, you're an American, you're male, you're part of the patriarchy. This is a woman's world. It's a boss world for women only, so you need to get the F out the way. And you are a big part of the problem. And then when they don't want to follow you anywhere or don't want to listen to what you have to say after you kicked them in the balls 15 times, you can't look around and go, what the hell happened? I mean, I treated them like crap. Why aren't they listening to me? Simple. You talk about being the party of inclusion, and all you do is exclude. Oh, by blaming some 24-year-old kid. You know, hey, this is all your fault. My brother gets it all the time. He just laughs. He's like, whatever. Keep doing what you're doing. You're going to keep getting what you get. And they're idiots. And I expect nothing more than what they do and the way they do it, which is hilarious. Speaking of men and women and feminism, Jordan Peterson on Megyn Kelly talking about feminism. Can women have it all? Men. And got kind of to the heart of a lot of this stuff, which is we have a massive divide between men and women, especially a younger generation in this country, that we need to figure out how we fix. Because it's not a good place. It's not a healthy place for society to see a divide like this, where it is, you know, especially in the millennial world. Now, the Gen Z, a little bit different. But right now with the millennials, it is,
as you said, the Democrats, all they can do is ape respect for masculinity. I mean, they tried to trot out Tim Walz as a man. You know, I mean, really, I mean, you know, there are worse examples of men than Tim Walz, admittedly, but we might also point out
no one's coming to mind, but I'm sure theoretically spend enough time
if you're looking for archetype of admirable masculinity, I wouldn't start with him.
No.
I mean, right. Well, and the fact that was even an idea, I'm not trying to denigrate Walz specifically, but the idea that was...
Can I just say on the same front, yes, as horrible as they come. I mean, tampon in the boys' rooms, that's enough. Tampon Tim is enough to convince me he's not the archetype. But
they put those in the military bathrooms in Canada, you know.
You know, we had, so you know. They've been in some, bathrooms at Facebook. That was one of the things that Mark Zuckerberg undid as he became more right wing or more of a Trump supporter.
Keep doing what you're doing and keep getting what you get. And you guys could have saved $20 million and come to me and said, hey, Chad, what do you think we should do? Simple. Focus on the economy. If you want to reach men, don't tell them they suck. Don't tell them they're assholes. Don't tell them they're the worst thing in the world. Don't tell them everything that goes wrong is their problem. And how somewhere along the line, feminism went from raising women up to chopping men down. And that doesn't work. Not long term. Not long term. Immigration, perfect example. Everybody in the world could see it. I mean, these things aren't hard. But no matter how much we talk about this on this program and how much fun we have with it, the reality is the Democrats will run at the dumbest shit every single time. If you give them 10 things, 9 are great, 1 is bad, they head right at the bad thing. And they are who we think they are. There's no doubt about that. One of the other things I want to talk about tonight, this is right now, there's something flying around on the TikTok and the reels and all that kind of stuff. And I bring that up because as a guy who played soccer, tried his damnedest way back in the 80s to do something. 94, we hosted the World Cup. We're hosting it again next year along with Mexico and Canada. By that, we mean, I think Mexico has a few games, Canada has a few games. We have a vast majority of the games. And because Trump is the president, automatically, you're seeing these things pop up. And I laugh because, well, I'm here to tell you it's bullshit. The capital B.
So
and a
he's been
capital
bragging nonstop
bullshit
about how he got the FIFA 26 World Cup in the USA. And now a lot of the countries that are involved and a lot of the teams and a lot of the players are backing out. They don't want to do it in the US.
That's the biggest bunch of horseshit in the world. They don't want to do it in the U.S. They don't want to do it. Lies. That's absolute bold-faced BS lies. It's happening. Let's just talk about some people that have hosted the World Cup lately. So we're going to get Morocco and Portugal and Spain 4 years after us. Then after that, we're going to go back to the Gulf with Saudi Arabia, which, by the way, has already said we're not having any alcohol. There's going to be no commingling of women and men in the streets. So if you think you're going to wear a bikini somewhere or, none of that stuff's happening. This is who we are and deal with it. Okay? But Trump, no, it's not happening. They're not taking the World Cup away from us. They're not taking the Olympics from it. It's bullshit. They're afraid to come here. Really? They're afraid to come here. Who's afraid to come here? Guarantee you, every one of those teams trying to qualify for the World Cup, you go to them and I go, hey, we're going to give you a free visa and a pass to go to the World Cup. You guys going to go? We're going to go. They're going to go. They're going. Biggest bunch of horse shit. Don't listen to it. It's a lie. They're not taking the World Cup away from us. Nobody shows up like America, and you think, what? Even at the World Cup in foreign nations, the biggest dollars come from America. We didn't qualify for a World Cup. We still had more fans there than anybody else in 2020. We show up. This insanity that, in 2018 in Russia, we didn't qualify for the World Cup. What happened? We still show up. We spend more money. We show up to these things. This, they're going to take it away. They're not taking this. They're not taking the Olympics away from us. They're not doing any of those things. Because then they would run into the ire of America itself and our media dollars and our giant corporations and companies. They would say, okay, if that's the way it's going to play, fine. Go ahead. They're not. So don't listen to the bullshit. And I've been hearing a lot of it, and I just laugh and I think, who is paying somebody? Because I've seen 100 of these over the last 24 hours. They just said that they're not going to come here. They're afraid that if Messi plays in fucking Miami already. What do you think they're going to just go? Hey, the minute he's going to play for Argentina, that's when we arrest him. You guys are such clowns. Don't listen to the clowns. There's plenty of them out there. Every once in a while, I could be a clown. No doubt about that. So we will be hosting it along with Canada and Mexico. Although what would happen if Canada became a state before then? Oh my God. Then we got the whole thing is ours. Outside of why not make Mexico a state, really? So that'll be next June 11th through July 19th, 48 teams. And it is finals going to be at MetLife Stadium. That's if they don't deport everybody. They're not going to. So settle your ass down. And I'm pumped. It's, I try to explain to people how big the World Cup is. If you take the Olympics and then the Super Bowl and then the Winter Olympics and then the World Series and the NBA Finals and the NHL Finals and some sort of, downhill skiing or whatever, or Aussie rules, and you roll them all up into one, you have something nowhere near as big as the World Cup. That's how big this is. So when somebody says, I think they're all scared of Trump and he's going to have them all arrested at the airport, well, I think you should watch out for that. Don't listen. That's bullshit. Okay. Solid fun, as always. We're going to do tomorrow night. Paul's going to join us. We have a lot of fun tomorrow, talk about a lot of different things we didn't get to today. Just didn't have time running around as the one-man band that we are. But like and subscribe. We appreciate it when you do that. And it really helps us out. So if you can, share this stuff as well. And tomorrow, 6 a.m. to 9 Pacific, 9 a.m. to noon East Coast. If you want, you can go to chadbensonshow.com or radioamerica.com and find out where I'm playing in your neck of the woods, or grab the podcast. We appreciate that. You guys have a blessed rest of your night. And as always, and I like to say on my radio show, why not say it tonight? Night, night, Chad.